Alright, how to make the Type 63 overpowered in Black Ops Cold War. Let's get into it. So when I first started to use this gun, I thought it was so bad, like one of the worst guns in the game. But the more I used it, the more I actually started to like it, and I actually really like this weapon now. I actually did manage to get this gun gold, which took me so long, mainly because leveling up weapons in this game is such a slow process. And you do have to get the weapon to like level 50 before you can even go for the last camos to get it gold. So that was quite the process. But before I get into the actual class, I just want to say I am grinding for diamond tac rifles first. So expect best classes for the other tac rifles coming soon. But anyways, let's just get into the class. So for this class, I'm actually using gunfighter, so I can have 8 attachments. So for the first attachment, which is the optic, is the Silix Hollow Scout. I think that's how you say it, but I'm not 100% sure. So red optics or reticles are obviously completely preference, but this is the one that I highly recommend because I think it can do good at all ranges. And for the reticle, I actually recommend Delta. I think this is the best one, and this is what it looks like in actual game, the optic and reticle. But moving on to the next attachment. So for the next attachment, which is the muzzle, I think the best one to rock is actually the silencer. Especially if you play core, it's always really nice not to show up on the enemy's minimap. It also makes your shot just quieter, and all it does is decrease bullet velocity, which isn't a big problem with this weapon. So for the next attachment, which is actually the barrel, I think the best one to rock is the 16.4 titanium, and let me tell you why. For the Type 63, it has a pretty low cap for the fire rate, which means like you can't shoot as fast as your trigger finger can go. So putting this barrel on actually increases the fire rate by 21%, which I think is actually huge because that means you can shoot so much faster than you normally would if you didn't have this on. So for the negative for this barrel is the minus 20%, I think it is, effective damage range. Now I don't think this is a huge deal, especially since you need to run this barrel for the fastest possible fire rate. So for the next attachment, which is the body, we're actually running the GRU 5mm laser sight, and I think this is the best one you could rock for the body. I didn't really know what to put for this one, but this will increase your hipfire accuracy by 40%. Now this can actually help you in close encounters if you're ever in need to just hipfire, and the only negative is just minus a little ADS speed. So personally, I think this is the best body to rock for the Type 63. Next up, for the next attachment, we have the underbarrel, which we're actually rocking the front grip for. Personally, I think this is the best one to rock. It has no negatives. Its positive is plus 30% horizontal recoil control, and you can notice when you like spray this gun, you can't really spray, but you'll notice it does have a little bit of horizontal recoil, which this will really help with. And vertical recoil wise, this gun has like none, so you don't even have to worry about that. So I think this is personally the best underbarrel you can run for this gun. So moving along to magazine, I actually ended up running the taped mags. Now this was not an easy choice. I feel like all the mags are actually pretty good, but for this gun I think that the tape mags are actually the best, and just because you get the reload quickness. But you might wonder like why not have the extra ammo and reload quickness. But this gun is semi-auto. It has normally 25 bullets in the mag, which, trust me, with the scavenger perk, this is plenty. You don't need that just like 5 or 10 extra, because this will have no negatives, no like minus movement speed or any of that. So I actually think this is the best mag you can run. So moving along to the handle, we're running the GRU elastic wrap. So this will give us plus 30% aim down sight speed, plus 90% flinch resistance, and we can aim while going prone. The negatives are minus 15 shooting move speed and sprint to fire time. Sorry, but let's talk about this. So the plus 30% ADS speed is actually pretty huge, because some of the other attachments we're running on this gun will actually give us minus ADS speed, so this will increase it. And when you're rocking this class, it actually has a really good ADS time. The plus 90% flinch resistance is actually huge. If you notice, like when you're ADSing, if you get shot, there will be flinch, like your sight will move somewhere off the enemy. It's really annoying. And the aim while going prone, for some reason, in this game, if you try to like drop shot while you're ADSing, while you're like trying to lay down, it'll just make you hip fire. So with this, you can stay aiming in and drop shot. Now the cons, the minus 15% shoot movement speed and sprint to fire time. The movement speed isn't huge because that's only when you're shooting, and the sprint to fire time, it's only 15%. It's not like major, it's not going to impact you that much. And lastly, for the last attachment is the stock. We're using the KGB pad, and this will give us plus 30% sprint to fire time, so that'll help because the last attachment gave us some negative of that. And this will give us plus 40% aim walking movement speed, so basically while you're ADSing you can move faster. And the only negative is minus 30% hip fire accuracy, which seems like a lot, but that body that we have gives us plus 40%, so that obviously will just give us plus 10%. But trust me, with this weapon you won't really be hip firing a lot, so it's not going to be huge. So that'll finish up the attachments on the gun, but we're not quite done with the class. So for the secondary, I'm just using the Sigma 2 because I'm going for diamond RPGs, because I'm going for DM Ultra. But you can use any secondary you want, shotguns with any attachments, or you could just use RPG. You could use just anything you want. So for the equipment, I'm just using a stun for the tactical. Now obviously these are all completely preference. I just think this stun is the best from what I've found so far. For lethal, I'm using the Semtex. I just think this is my favorite. And for the field upgrade, I'm using a field mic. Now I would recommend either using the field mic or the jammer, but that's obviously completely preference, and you can use any equipment you want. Now for the perks, this is again obviously completely preference, but for perk 1 I'm actually using attack mask, because I find a lot of people are trying to stun me, so that'll obviously counter that. Scavenger, you only have 25 bullets in every mag, which is plenty, but if you're staying on high streak, Scavenger will obviously replenish your ammo, which is helpful. And lastly, Ghost, because a lot of people will be getting those radars in the air, so that'll obviously counter that. And lastly, you'll obviously need to be using Gunfighter if you want to use all 8 attachments for the gun. So yeah, that is the class. So that is all for the video, but before you leave, I just want to remind you that I am grinding for diamond tac rifles first, so expect more videos coming soon on best classes for those other guns. And I am trying to upload daily, but I don't think I will be able to, but I am going to try to upload as much as possible.